My mother recently turned 71. While I celebrated a 46th birthday of my own. 25 years between us, and yet, I am my mother's daughter. At this point, I am completely and utterly certain. There are many layers to our relationship. Like any mother and daughter, we have a tiered affiliation, born of the memories of our past, the chaotic present we live in, the hazy, clouded future. In so many words, we are the tip of the iceberg, and all that stuff hidden underneath. Do you know anything about the nature of perfume? How there are top, middle, bottom notes, all those pesky layers again, that make up the composition of a fragrance? Do you know that a scent will react with your own skin and chemistry, smelling one way on one person and completely different on another's wrist? The scents we spray on our sensitive points, they tell our stories, leaving the elements of each of us in their wake, ones that will linger far longer than our physical selves. We are like perfume. Beneath all the layers and levels of emotions, my mom and I share much more than the tightly wound strands of DNA. Fragrance becomes a powerful memory maker when it becomes someone's signature. And well, my mom and I, we have a heady essence all our own. My mom calls every day. Well, almost every day. And sometimes we are on the phone for a few minutes. Just a simple check-in, an information swap. And other times we act like long-distance lovers, asking one more question, and then another, until we are sharing one more anecdote in our refusal to be the first one to say goodbye. Her voice is as familiar as my own. We've often been mistaken for one another. And sometimes when her number lights up my screen, I just want to talk to her about day-to-day stuff. I want to share things that don't really have an answer. I yearn to be just one mom and her girl, convincing. Other times I know I'm using her as a safe place to vent my frustrations and disappointments. But it happens sometimes that when I start in on my own news and stories, she starts in with her advice, her endless observations on life, that are mixed with her own personal story and her narrative, tangled up in all that is the ever-present, but never ever uttered, "Kirst, please don't make the same mistakes I have." And when that happens, it is inevitable that I will deliberately hang up the phone and take a slow walk into the hallway of my workplace, walking past cubicles, cutting around the conference room into the atrium in a vain attempt to avoid the ladies' room at all costs, because it is imperative that I circumvent all the questions of well-meaning friends. How are those gorgeous boys? Hey, do you have any funny stories of twins today? And after I've circled around and my heart is not beating itself out of its chest, I often let myself sit in that atrium, allowing my mind to unravel with thoughts like, well, perhaps you should just ask my mother, because she seems better equipped to regale you with all their stories today. It is a mean thought. It is a childish reaction, but I still allow myself to wallow in it from time to time. One day, many years ago, when I was still knee-deep in diapers and daycare and hungry for empathy instead of advice, I sat there, stewing in my own bitter soup, when a woman hurried past me, tapping at her phone. And as she passed, I took a deep breath, just to collect myself, and instead I inhaled a sultry mix of sandalwood and amber. And at once it reached inside my brain and pulled memories from it like it was picking apples off a tree. It snuck into my nose and lingered there and clung to me. I sat on that bench and just took it in. There, mixed with the undertones of rose and musk, mingling with their top notes, was the essence of my mother. She was there in every breath I took. That particular bottle is like an open door to my past, acting like a song that brings back your life with every stanza. It was her narrator announcing her arrival, casting that wide net of fragrance wherever she went. For as long as I can remember, I've associated that perfume with my mom, more than the blue eyes and shapely legs we share, more than the helpful chirps of, "You could use a little lipstick," and, "You know, some jewelry wouldn't hurt." I suddenly remembered a day, lying on a table, warm goop on my belly, basking in the knowledge that we would soon know the genders of these babies we had fought so hard for. And I was stalling, desperate for her to be part of this reveal, when the tech stuck her head out the door and impatiently looked towards the waiting room. "She's not here," she started, even as my nose filled with that bouquet. "Oh, yes, she is," I answered. "I can smell her. Please go tell her we're ready." And I don't think that my mom knows, even now, how as a child I used to put my nose to her pillowcase when she'd be running out of the house, going to start her busy day and shouting back requests to make her bed, that I would fill my nose with her and carry her around with me all day. I wonder if she can imagine how burying my face in her chest as I nursed numerous broken hearts helped them to heal faster. It was the balm of those hugs mixing with her fragrance that offered me something better than medicine, better than time. I've never told her how I forego giving the twins a bath some nights when she's visited, because I know she's there on the strands of their hair. I pull them a little closer, allow them access to my bed and sniff their heads, looking for signs of her, aching for just one more way to be near her. I think about that day on the bench a lot. Remind myself that the moments of having her essence surround me are limited, because someday I'm going to catch a whiff of that fragrance and the memories will be all I have. There will be no more two-sided phone calls or testy defensive attempts to prove who's right. Her top note will no longer exist to react with my bottom one. And now as I wade into the waters of motherhood myself, I see that so clearly and feel it so deeply. Nothing is forever. Someday that bottle will be empty. And her very existence is a gift. A mom who loves me and hurts for me and understands me in a way that no one ever will. I may often contend that she doesn't know everything. That in a stunning turn of events, I don't either. My mom has always pushed and forced herself into my life right from the moment our blue eyes met. And she's my biggest cheerleader, my kindest critic, the top note that blends so expertly with the bottom, forming the sweet spot, the tender, comfortable middle that creates our signature scent. So I reach for the phone these days, and I'm drawn to that blinking light that reveals her incoming call. And when I pick up the handset, I wait for her voice to commingle with mine, just like the scents in that favorite bottle. She on one end with me on the other, tenuously reaching for one another, we become a fragrant, special amalgamation. I am my mother's daughter, after all. Of that, I am forever completely certain.